From Wilson, I'm going to meet another young colleague of mine working right here at CRTV Southwest. Ha, Larry.
Hello, Mbele. We're dealing with Bamu.
Thank you so much for receiving me warmly here.
You're welcome to Buea.
Yes. Okay, so as usual, I'm enjoying the climate, but is there something I shouldn't miss to experience while in Buea?
First, I'm not sure you've seen the mountain.
Right.
It's been foggy for some days now, and the forest belt is thick. You can't even peep through.
Yeah.
But something you shouldn't miss is eating kwakoko Bible.
Of course.
And snail sauce, liver sauce,
Yes.
or maybe hide, cow skin. So either of those will go. Make sure your kwakoko Bible is baked, or when it's cooked, you dry it a little bit to be scrunchy.
Grandma's secret right there. And I'll definitely come and eat it in your house, Larry.
Anytime.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the focus of this whole show. Youth Day is coming up. The theme has to do with morality and also discipline. You, as a young professional in the media sphere, how do you manage that?
Yes, this year's Youth Day's theme focuses or oscillates around the word rearmament. And in the word rearmament, there's another word arm, which is to equip. Which is to be empowered, endowed. So for us to be empowered morally, in terms of civic or entrepreneurially, all of these will lead to the nation's prosperity and unity. That's what the theme says. As a journalist, I try to do this in my own little sphere, being responsible. And deliberately responsible. So it's not just by some chance or some luck. You leave your house every day, you speak to the man in the mirror. You are going out there to be a good boy. You are going out there to be a good journalist. You won't hurt. You just do your work. And that's being credible, being balanced. How do you call it?
Objective.
Objective. And someone says objectivity is not giving both sides equal hearing to a story.
What does it mean?
It is giving both sides hearing.
Okay.
Yes, because you won't treat a rapist and a rape victim the same. Away from the Journalism 101. Practically, you have to know when to get to the margins of the story, which angle, which editorial line should there be one, and with the public whom you represent. And so this has taken me to different places of the region, all the 6 divisions, to the creeks, to the islands, and even to the drylands.
Is there extra pressure because right here we're all living through a socio-political crisis? Is there extra pressure as a young journalist?
Yes, because you want to tell the story. All the eyes sometimes when something breaks are on you, and with the speed which God has credited or given to the youth, you can run faster. So this will mean you'll be assigned more to stories which break. And so you want to get the facts straight. You don't want to break it like the social media.
The fastest.
Yes. So you have to get the facts. So you may be 5 minutes late, you may be 10 minutes late, just because
you're authentic.
You're authentic.
Yes.
And your facts can be verified. And so back to responsibility, you have to ensure that as a young journalist, you are an opinion leader. People look up to you. So you won't trash your papers, your plastics. Litter the streets anyhow.
You're the number one good citizen other people are looking at. Yes.
Some people may not have. So you are that conduct or that book of good morals people will only read. Yes. So give them good chapters.
Absolutely. Beautifully said. And talking about someone who is giving good chapters for other people to emulate, you met an honourable. He's young, but he's been impacting his generation for quite a while. Tell us about him.
Yes, he doesn't like to be called honorable.
Really?
He's called Malomba Esembe. I like his name, Esembe or Malomba. You'll find out later what those names mean. Well, but he was born in 1985. So if my arithmetic does me some justice, that should be
37, 38.
Yes, exactly. He'll be 38 by September this year, thereabout. And what struck me about him is his humility. For someone who has been in all the arms of government, talk of the executive, he has worked at the Ministry of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises. Talk of the judiciary, he was later on drafted to magistracy. And now he's moved over to the legislative arm of government. So he's been through all of this within about, let me say, 14 or thereabout years. And he remains humble. he remains, let me say, teachable. He listens.
Teachable,
Yes,
important.
Yes, and so I was so wow that he can listen to the uneducated give their own advice in politics and so on and so forth. And another thing that struck me most is his singing ability. Well, he's not a good singer. He said that
but he loves singing, like some of us. We believe inside of us that we know how to sing.
And I know people like you, your voices are best in the bathroom.
Right.
So he told me there's this hymn he likes to sing with his children every evening sometime when they have the time to. I'm pressing on the upward way, new heights I'm gaining every day. Maybe we begin from there.
Okay, let's get his story and you tell me more about the other side that we didn't get to see.
Okay.
I'm pressing on the upward way, new heights.
Treading in the footsteps of illustrious men as he gains new heights every day while planting his feet on higher ground. Malomba Esembe is one Cameroonian youth worth the salt. Young and strong, like his favorite song, life has wrote out an upward path for him. Born in 1985 in the country's petrol city, Limbe, southwest Cameroon, his birth came as a gift to his parents.
I am told I was born in Limbe at the Buea Urban Hospital on the 14th day of September, 1985. I grew up in Limbe. I did my nursery and primary school in Buea. My mother tells me I was the first batch of the Presbyterian nursery school in Buea. And I was baptized as an infant at the Presbyterian Church, Buea Limbe. And then I moved to primary school at the government school, Buea. And when I completed and had the common entrance, when I passed the common entrance exam, I came over to Buea, my father's side, where I did my secondary and high school, PCSS Buea, and then Baptist High School Buea. So anyone who hears the name and who is familiar with this part of the country will always tag me to Batoke. It was the name of my great-grandfather. And the meaning in our vernacular, Mokwe, is a gift to people. Lomba in Bakuru means gift. So Malomba is my gift.
Strikingly, his professional path has crisscrossed the country's three arms of government: the judiciary, where he served as court registrar and later magistrate; the executive, as a staffer in the Ministry of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises; and now the legislative arm of government as a member of parliament.
Upon having my A-levels, I sat the entrance exam into Cycle B of ENAM, and upon completion, I was appointed to the High Court of the Ocean Division in Kribi. And at that time, the head of state had just created a couple of new ministries, departments in government. And I thought to myself that I could be more useful working in one of these new departments and offering my know-how there. That's how I went towards the hierarchy of the Ministry of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises with an application, and I was co-opted there. We were among the first staff who set up the Ministry of SMEs. That's how I sat for the entrance exam into the magistracy section of ENAM, which I passed in 2008. And that's how my time in the executive arm of government, like you've put it, working in the Ministry of SMEs, came to a close. I went back to school, and after my training, 2010, I was called to the bar the year after, the public bar, as a magistrate. I was there from 2011 to 2019, when I felt the need to pursue a higher calling, which is embedded in my childhood dream I told you about, that of being a servant to people. Elections were coming, municipal and legislative, and I thought it was time for me to run. And why was the thought very strong at that time? I must give gratitude to the head of state, President Paul Biya, national chairman of the CPDM. It is the policy he put in place at the time, which emboldened me.
The bookworm has warmed the hearts of many in his constituency. Very few things excite him like public service, an attribute he tags to his youthfulness.
At that time, I was 34, and everyone saw it as being so improbable. What am I thinking about? Because he has been a magistrate, he thinks he can just break into politics like that? Well, with faith in God and with the knowledge that the biggest authority in the party and in the country wanted and still wants to see young people emerge, I forged on. And thank God today that by the will of the people of the Buea Urban constituency, I am their representative.
Many are quick to remember his campaign slogan, "Nawiwi," a phrase in Pidgin English which he used during legislative elections of February 9, 2020.
One day he told me that, you see, I am so convinced that the message is going to sell more and people will buy in better if it is in the lingua franca Pidgin. And I said, what do you have in mind? And he said, Nawiwi. Initially, I laughed mockingly because I told him, but come on, maybe I have this background of a law practitioner and I think it has to be in English and maybe my personality will be seen more as in English. But he told me, you're making a mistake about yourself. You like the touch of people. You like the feeling of being with people. And your people will identify more with you if you communicate with them as you do every day in Pidgin.
In Cameroon's National Assembly, he is the vice chairman of the foremost committee, the Committee on Constitutional Laws, and executive president of the Network of Cameroonian Legislators for Road Safety. He is also the chair of the Southwest Regional Committee in charge of monitoring the execution of the public investment budget. In addition, he is a certified elections observer and served on the Commonwealth Observer Mission to the Zambia general elections in August 2021. And to think he is just 38 years old, no doubt many young people see him as a bundle of inspiration. The young magistrate is elder of the Presbyterian Church Bokwango and a member of the Synod, which is the highest organ of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon. What might tickle your curiosity is how he blends this with membership to the Bakari masculine cult called Malé.
It is a misunderstanding that some have, not all, to see our culture, our traditions as being fetish. This is one of the unfortunate legacies of colonialism, where some of us were made to think that what is ours is bad and what comes from out there is good. I must tell you that between my culture, the dance you've just mentioned, the Malé, and the Christian religion, it is one. If I can borrow a Pidgin expression, church and Malé are 5 and 6. Because the tenets, the principles that we live by as members of this dance are just the same that we practice in Christianity.
Like the crystals of this chandelier, Malomba knows the secret to life is to put yourself in the right lighting. With a postgraduate degree in law, Malomba has moved on to attend trainings and conferences in Ghana, the United Kingdom, and the United States of America. But when all of his days toiling is over, he's reminded of a beautiful marriage he's built for over a decade.
I think these are the most important people I have in my life, you know. You have my wife, Etondi. We got married 14 years ago. It's one of the facts about my life that shocks me, that at my age I've been married for 14 years. And we've been blessed with these 3 adorable girls. You have Jamia, who is the first, Ndolo, and I call her my puppy, Coco, the youngest of the 3.
Honourable Malomba Esembe, but better pronounced Esembe, grew up in a modest home. His father was a driver and mother is a retired midwife. He remains an inspiration to many Cameroonian youth today. His mixture of politics, religion, ancestral culture, and family life make for a sweet-smelling savor, as sweet as his favorite hymn. And so, he keeps pressing on the upward way.
New heights I'm gaining every day, still praying as I onward bound. Lord, plant my feet on higher ground. Lord, lift me up and help me stand by faith on heaven's stable land, a higher plane that I have found. Lord, plant my feet on higher ground.
What an intriguing personality.
Yes.
I can feel his warmth from here. Now I understand what you meant by humility.
He's not just tall in stature. He's tall in the dosage of humility deposited in him too. He has
And that's something we need to learn about leadership.
Exactly.
Some people think leadership comes with pride, but it's
doesn't.
humility to be able to relate with everyone.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that takes me back to his slogan during his campaign, which I mentioned in that report. His slogan was "Now we." So it's pidgin English, and most people can identify. He didn't bring one, British phrase to embarrass the local Bayam Selam, but everyone can identify with him. Now it's one, like we are together in this. We together we can make this work.
We build together.
We build together.
And just like we're together right now, sharing the spirit of youthfulness, I just want to add this. Humility comes with accepting your culture.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm wearing my kaba right now.
And that's why I have a touch of the Togo.
Yes.
Yeah, and to give a blend of the country's English-speaking part. That's the southwest and then the northwest.
Because unfortunately, so many young people believe that in order to be a part of the society, modern society, they have to forego their culture.
Like you saw in that report, Honourable Malomba has a broom and a Bible.
Yeah.
Meaning he's a member of the Mali Secret Society and also an elder in the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon. So he blends these two perfectly, and he told us that they don't conflict. That for him, they just complement each other. The virtues of love is being practiced in these two, and togetherness and of course service to humanity.
Absolutely, I agree with him. I agree with you. Thank you so much, Larry, for this moment. I really wish it won't end. But we have to talk about being rooted in tradition.
Okay.
And who's best placed to talk about that than a traditional ruler from Akwaya, based right here in Buea. He tells us his story after this musical transition.